think we're seeing some of that, John, what you're talking about, where people are so ticked off, they want to see that reflected in their candidates. And I've heard some, feedback or pushback against Charlie Baker, who's running for governor as a Republican, because he's not, I don't know, hyperventilating enough or maybe sharp enough. He's a little too policy wonkish.
Right.
But if you look at someone in terms of background and respect and command of the issues and good ideas, we're not going to get a better candidate for governor than Charlie Baker.
No, I agree with you. He's a fantastic candidate. He's very smart. He has an awful lot of energy. I mean, he certainly is showing people with his actions and not with his words that he's going to be engaged. And that's important for all the candidates because it's easy to say, look, we know you're not being listened to, and we're going to be engaged, and we're going to take your problems, and we're going to help solve your problems. We can say that, but we have to show people that we mean business. So, from our perspective in our campaign, we're all over the place. We are constantly on the move. We're going to standouts. We go to Tea Party meetings. We go to RTC meetings. I mean, we did over the 10-day congressional recess. We went on a tour of all 29 towns in the 10 days for the congressional recess, so we can meet folks. So we're constantly moving. We're going to start a whistle-stop tour where we're going to go to the train stations in the district before people go to work in the mornings to meet folks. And we're just constantly out there meeting people and listening to people because that's really what they want. They want to be listened to.
John Golnik is a guest, JONGOLNIK.com. He's running against Nikki Tsongas in the 5th Congressional District. Let's go to the phones for John Golnik. Mike in Newton, welcome to Pundit Review. Hi, Mike.
Kevin, a pleasure to talk to you. Great show.
Thank you, Mike.
John, I'll just tell you a quick story. I was sitting out in front of my house a week ago with two young men. They're both in the roofing business, and they were lamenting about the terrible job market, what's happening out there. And as we were speaking, 2 trucks pulled up to my neighbor's house, 2 houses down, and 12 young men got out. And they appeared to be, quite honestly, Hispanic. And they proceeded to unload ladders and shingles and, do a roofing job for my next-door neighbor. I asked the guy, I said, you didn't give my friends an opportunity to give you a price. And he looked at me dumbfounded. I'm going to ask you, John, number one, the first question is, what do you think of the Arizona law in regards to their problem with immigration, illegal immigration, and do you favor job creation for Americans, naturally born American workers?
Great. Thank you very much for the question. The Arizona people are upset, and I think that law is a perfect illustration of how the federal government has simply failed to do the bare necessities to secure the border. And in 1986, Ronald Reagan signed legislation that put people on the path to legalization, illegals that were here. But that was based also on, it was incumbent on making sure that we secured the borders and we had strict employee verification. Well, the borders weren't secured, and we didn't follow up with the employee verification. So, illegal immigration in this country is a very, very big issue. It's probably one of the most challenging issues we face, simply because it impacts all the other challenging issues that we confront with health care and with education and things like that. So, I think that the Arizona law is treating the symptom and not the real problem. But again, I don't live in Arizona. I certainly don't know what it's like. I mean, I know they've been having kidnappings and murders and rapes, and that Mexican drug cartel violence is spilling over the border. But I think it gets back to the point that we as a country need to secure our borders.
And Mike is talking about really the problem that should upset legal immigrants and people who support real immigration. It's that folks in the trades are getting killed by people being paid under the table half rate of what a person legitimately should be earning, and those are the people who should be most upset. Let's go before we get to the top of the hour here. One more phone call for John Golnik. Let's go to Wayne in a car. Hi, Wayne.
Mr. Goldman, good evening.
Wayne, how are you?
Very good, sir. Thank you. I have one. Actually, I have one question in 3 parts.
Well, make it quick. We're running up on the clock here, Wayne.
Have you heard anybody running for elective office that has talked about closing down the borders to imports, reopening factories? Only 15% of Americans graduate college. And the third thing is when are we going to start in this country addressing the issue? You know, you can't create jobs if you don't create products. I'll let you respond, sir, and thank you very much for taking my call.
Hi, Wayne. Thank you very much. You know, I will say right at the outset that I am a free trader, and I do believe in open markets because you know a lot of our markets are actually overseas, our export markets, and in fact now that our dollar has actually declined in value, the one upside to that, if there is one, is that we will be able to export our products and they will be cheaper because the dollar has actually decreased in value. However, what I will say this is, look, we can still manufacture goods in this country, and there is no one who can create better products than Americans. The problem is it's too expensive to do business in this country. We've got a 35% corporate tax rate. That's before any other state corporate tax rates are tacked onto it. And also when you pass legislation like this healthcare legislation that has a 2.3% excise tax that's going to be slapped on medical device manufacturers in this Commonwealth, the majority of these manufacturers are in the 5th District. That just adds to the burden of doing business here.
We read a Boston Herald story earlier saying that when the tax hits, they're going to plan to pay for it on the backs of employees.
That's right. I mean, this is the problem. We are just burdening the private sector to try to create jobs, and that's where sustainable jobs are created. This health care plan needs to be repealed and replaced. This cap and trade is going to add $1,700 to every working family in this district, in this Commonwealth, and across the country. These are bad bills.
And we can manufacture all the products we want, but if there's no demand for them and people can't afford them because of the tax burden, then it doesn't do any good.
We need to lower the cost of doing business in this country, and right now that's not happening.
And also put some money back into people's pockets through some tax cuts. It's getting ridiculous. Hey, John, we're up on the top of the clock. It was great to meet you tonight, and we look forward to following your campaign and hopefully your success against Nikki Tsongas.
Well, thank you so much.
And want to have you back.
Mother's Day to all.
Thank you, John Golnik. Good luck with the campaign. JONGOLNIK. That's how you find him on the internet.